Welcome to Deep Root Connections, a space where earth, animals, nature, and spirit are all alive, intertwined, and communicating. I'm your host, Kara Daniels, and today I have a very special guest for you, an individual whose journey beautifully reflects what this podcast is all about: deepening connection with the land, trusting your intuitive gifts, and learning to co-create with the unseen realms. Met her during a land healing session, and over the past 2 years, I've watched her grow in powerful ways, expanding her intuitive abilities and stepping into sharing that work with others through property readings and land-based healing. She's a homesteader, a mother, and an intuitive empath devoted to helping people reconnect with and heal their homes and land. She's also the founder of Earthly Owl, her newly launched business. So I am pleased to welcome Heather Colterman to the podcast.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me. I am
Of
so
course.
excited. For a little bit of background for our listeners, Heather came to me, I guess it was 2 years now for a land healing. And
It's pretty close to 2 years, yeah.
yeah, and so I'm so excited to talk about your space, where it was when we met, where it's now, and how you stepped into the role of your own business as a land healer. So please, 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 can you take us back to what life looked
Absolutely.
like before we met with the land and your home and how you ended up here?
So I will start with moving here from Ontario. I was in 2022. My husband and I literally bought this house sight unseen, which everybody just gasps at that. It sounds pretty crazy, and it was. So we took a leap of faith and we moved here in the summer of 2022. I was also halfway through my pregnancy with my first child, so there was a lot happening. We moved here. We actually lived in our travel trailer for the first week. It was just so strange when we got here. Just integrating it all. We slowly moved in. I started painting every square inch of the house, claiming it as my own, navigating pregnancy. And I'd say once my daughter was born at the beginning of 2023 is when things started kind of spiraling out of control. That was shortly before I found you, Kara. And I just remember I actually was looking for a psychic. I didn't know what I needed. I was looking for a psychic, and I actually got, no pun intended, ghosted by this woman who it kind of fell flat. And I was like, I just need somebody like a psychic reading for my house. And then I found you, I think it was through a Google search. And that's kind of where it all started. And it's so surreal seeing you on Zoom because that was the last time I saw you on Zoom, was kind of filling you in on what was happening in my house. And that opened a new chapter on the healing path to where I am now. It was a lot of layers personally with the house. Like I said, my intuitive abilities kind of there was a lot going on. Um, but the healing you did on my home really helped get clarity on what was actually going on, which I took it from there.
Yeah, I remember our intake call. Actually, let me rephrase. Your unique situation is one of those ones that has really stuck with me. Number one, because you were already so intuitively aware of what was going on, which I will ask you more questions about. So
Hmm.
you can share kind of the ins and outs of what you were experiencing beforehand, but you already sensed it in your own way. And I just felt that your intuition was there. It was just more of like a, what the F am I experiencing? And somebody please put words to this experience, which is exactly what happened to me and how I ended up in this path too. I was like, what's happening? Like, what is this? Like, who's out there that can help me with
Oh
this?
yeah.
And
It
it's
was
really hard to put words to these experiences when there's not very many people out there talking about it.
It's so true. And I remember, well, I'm sure you remember, it wasn't just the house, like you said. I was having these crazy experiences with owls, and I was like, can you please help me? I don't know what's happening. I was having I believe it was the spirits of the land at the time coming through into my dreams. There was so much craziness going on. Also, I was very postpartum. So at first I like, okay, this is postpartum depression. Like this is kind of crazy, but yeah,
They don't warn you about it that way.
no. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Okay, so for our listeners, just take us back. Take us back to what started happening and what really prompted you to reach out because you had a lot going on. Just give us the full picture of your space and what it was like.
So I live in a homestead on 22 acres. My property is wedged between a very active railway and an extremely large river, the Fraser River. So now I can see it as being there is a lot of energy going on here. The home itself was vacant for about a month or more before we moved in. Um, we had earthbound spirits coming and going within the house. And oh, I did tell you about this one spirit in particular that was kind of lingering around amidst the postpartum like sleep deprivation and everything else. So that was kind of unsettling. And that's where I was really starting to worry. Am I imagining this? Like, do I need help? Is this what's going on? At the same time, there was owls physically everywhere around my property. I was being visited by them in my dreams. Um, so that was really like prodding at me too. What does this mean? Like, and I think I asked you, I was like, can you please tell me what this means? And you're like, I'm like, that's for you to figure out. And I'm like, no. Yeah, so I did get to the bottom of that, but just in a nutshell, there was just a lot going on.
And when you say, I just kind of want to wrap this up to paint a full picture. You were moving through some postpartum depression, most likely.
Yes.
There were some earthbound spirits, and if I recall, they were all over the place emotionally. They were just energetically pulling and pushing energies to and from you.
Yeah.
What, and this might not be something that you can dissect on the spot, but how did all of these different energies make you feel? Like, what was the one thing or what was the catalyst where you were like, I just think I need extra help because of XYZ?
It was, I should also bring up the goat barn. That was a big
Oh, yep.
part of it. To add to everything I've just described, at the same time, I purchased my own herd of Nubian goats that were housed in the goat barn on the property, which had extremely challenging energy, as you know. That was really hard because when I was in that barn, which I was twice a day, on top of the postpartum depression and having a new baby, the energy was like anger. I was channeling so much rage from that barn, and it was almost creating a shameful feeling like, how could I be so angry? Like, is this me? That also added to it where I was kind of like, I need some help. Like, there's something going on here. My husband was having his own experience in that barn as well, slightly different experience. Um, but I would say the catalyst that really sent me to look for help was the particular spirit who I actually saw clairvoyantly looking through my window one night. I was putting my baby to sleep, and I just, when your eyes are open and you see it, but you don't see it, it's gone. And he was looking at me. I'm like, that is it. I need some help.
No,
So
thank you. No peeping Toms here, please.
it's like, yeah, that's not cool. So that was like the end for me. That's where I was like, I need some help. And I found you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty wild. So you mentioned the train tracks. So for context, you are right in front of me. You have two train tracks that go in two different directions. and they stop right at basically your driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I just remember thinking, ooh, trains, like there's so much energy with trains to begin with, but also what a lot of people don't realize is the energies of cemeteries and the spirits of the mountains. And I can't quite recall all of the different energies that were like hopping in and off the trains, but I just remember like you had a very unique situation where people, spirits, all of these different beings would just hop on the trains and ride them from all of these different locations. And when the train stopped, they'd be like, this looks like a great place to hang out for a bit. And then they would hang out with
Yeah.
you at your house. And it's like, oh, how many people experience this without actually understanding that? Not that everybody sits by a train station, but still, just to have energies around without recognizing it could be very detrimental to your well-being. And the anger that you felt in the goat barn, um,
Yeah.
that's a big one. That's a key
Oh,
indicator that something else is going on. If there's nothing visually or very palpably noticeable. Like, there's
exactly.
nothing going on here. This looks just like a fine building, but every time I enter into or
Yeah.
cross the threshold, something shifts. That's a huge indication that there's something within the unseen realms that's out of balance.
Absolutely. And I always think like imagine if I just fluffed that off as I have a rage issue. Like, why am I getting so angry? And I just think about how often this is happening with other people where I mean, it took almost a year of all of this to accumulate to really start noticing, like, okay. And the key takeaway for me was I was at home all the time and my husband wasn't. He was working out of the house. So he wasn't being influenced in the way that I was. I was also the only one in the barn all the time. And yeah, just powerful anger, like, whew. And so that's being carried into the house. It's just a bad scenario. It was a bad scenario.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, you automatically think, well, it's me. Like, there's something wrong with
Hmm.
me. I've been there too, where it's like, how come I can't get control of myself?
Yeah, like wow, apparently I've got rage issues.
Yeah. Maybe I do need to see a psychotherapist.
Yeah,
Kidding.
yeah, literally.
That's the thing, though, is with all of these different land and home healings, it's like the key indicators. And I would be curious too, now that you have stepped into the professional field, what types of sessions that you're being called to work on, and if there are similarities with how you felt, if your clients are similarly feeling that, and that's why they're reaching out. I know for me, I have made a whole list of commonalities that people can experience where it's like, this is your tell that something else is going on. And one of them is anger and nightmares and chronic illness, animals getting sick and dying. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, have you noticed anything like that with the people that you're working with?
Um, yeah, one reading comes to mind, and I've really related because this woman in particular had a daughter, an older daughter, but the daughter was out of the whole family very sensitive, and she was actually picking up on things in certain parts of the house. And so I go into the reading, I'm like, oh yeah, like it just feels so familiar where, and it's weird. I wrote a blog post about haunted houses, but I think about this all the time. Like sometimes it's subtle and sometimes it's not. And I actually find the subtle houses to be more challenging because it's subtle enough that it's not so obvious and you think it's you, and it takes a while to put the pieces together and really realize that there is something going on with the house that is influencing you.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree
Yeah.
with that, with your
Mhm.
comments there. The ones that are really dramatic, it's like it's so easy to be like, there's something
Yeah.
funky going on here. But it's
It's the
this
house. Yeah.
clearly it's haunted for reals.
Yeah. And you can
Yeah.
find resolution, and like you said, it's easy to know what to do, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So have you had any more visitors off of the trains, or how are you navigating that now?
I would say I would get a few stragglers kind of wander in very infrequently. Um, but that's stopped. I have not noticed anything else coming in. I've been doing a lot of work with stones. I have a big stone grid set up for my whole property. Um, but I do a lot of work to protect the front. Like my front door faces the railway, so um, there's a lot coming in. I'm so grateful for the spruce trees out front. I can't imagine not having them there. But yeah, it feels much more energetically secure now than it did. And so I'm grateful for that.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
Yeah.
What, if you feel like sharing, what kind of grid or what stones are you using to create your grid?
I'm using natural stones from the land. I was very fortunate. There's a lot of quartz here, so I've got some big natural quartz stones. It's actually a funny story, but my property is a triangle shape, so I have a 3-point grid set up, and the one spot is like a huge hike away. So I had to put this massive stone in my backpack to hike it over to the corner, and I was extremely out of shape, and it was kind of hilarious. But I got it to where it needed to be, and I sort of once in a while try and do a walk on the perimeter and just kind of check in as you should with grids and stuff. And I do feel like it's working. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, quartz is like my go-to always. I
Hmm.
just love quartz so much. And you don't even need big pieces either to make it work.
Yeah.
That's what I found at least.
Yeah.
Do
Oh,
you? Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna add to the stones. I also acquired my largest piece of it's a raw black tourmaline with there's some quartz and some mica in it, and I've got that for my front door because
Mm,
it's it's right near the train tracks. So
yes, I love that idea right by your front door.
hmm
And I want to touch on the spirit of your house too, but before I lose
hmm
track of all of my questions, when you're doing grid work or working with the stones of your land, are you like, I know that you have started to open up to nature communication specifically. I'm just curious what your process is on selecting the different helpers and working with them from a consent and co-creative space.
my process is pretty simple. I try and I'm very intentional about it, and it's usually just a matter of I get myself in a space, like a meditative space. Tell the land I'm coming for a walk. Who wants to? I'm looking for, 3 stones that want to do grid work with me. And I kind of just intuitively walk through and see which ones kind of speak out. And when I say speak out, I don't get really like strong messages with them. It's just more of an energetic pull to certain stones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I love that. That's how it works for me too, usually. I'm just like, hey, who
Yeah.
wants to party today? This is my task. Who wants to come
Yeah.
hang out? And
Yeah.
yeah, and they'll just like wave their little hands
Yeah.
energetically.
Of
Like
course, yeah.
they'll just kind of pop out of the landscape and like, ooh, that one. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's really fun. Okay, so let's go to your house. Um,
Hmm.
if I recall, when you moved in, there was not a spirit of the home. Okay,
No.
so just to educate some people out there that's like, what's the spirit of a home? It pretty much self-explanatory. Your your house has an indwelling spirit that can help protect. And when you work with them specifically, you can infuse your intentions. And very similarly to other spirits of the land, you can co-create a space of harmony and balance. And
Yeah.
I just remember tuning into your home and being like, this is empty. There's nobody here.
No. Yeah.
So, did you end up calling in a new spirit of the home? And I would be so curious on what that was like. If so, what shifts you noticed or what relationship unfolded after that?
Yeah. So, and I do remember when you did a reading for my home and you brought up the fact that there was no spirit in here and you suggested to call one in. And I was like, well, how do you do that? And you kind of just gave me a quick kind of tutorial. And so I'm like, okay. So I did that and a very strong feminine yellow energy just came in. And it's so funny because we're anticipating doing some home renos and the house wants yellow. I don't even want to show anybody my kitchen, but we moved in and it was dark blue cabinets and it's just screaming at me like take these. um and even like spreading outside of the house, yellow flowers, white flowers, and the spirit of the home for me really comes through with colors, for sure. And it totally jives. The house feels so much more joyful than it did when we moved in, obviously. Um, yeah,
That's so fun. Yellow. What a happy color. That's like
it's
sunshiny.
such. Oh yeah, I love it.
Oh, I just have to laugh at that because, like, I have my house here. We've lived here 6 years. And when we moved in was about the time I was just opening up to what the heck is the spirit of a house and trees and things. And the spirit of the house was so unhappy with me. I tuned in one day and she was like, I don't like you. I'm like, oh.
Well
Okay,
then.
what do you do with that? Like,
Yeah.
shoot. And long story short, the person who lived here before raised her many children here and did all of the add-ons. And so her energy was naturally infused with the spirit of the house. And so she was like, you only have one child and you guys don't seem to like entertaining. And she was explaining to me like what she preferred in her home.
Yeah.
And I was like, but that's not how we are. We're like the exact opposite. And so it was really interesting that I hated living here for a very long time.
It
And I
just
have a
wasn't jiving.
yeah, and it's like, and I think that that's why is just like the spirit of the home and I were just clashing. We just didn't get like, and I didn't
Yeah.
know this until I started talking to her, and then it's like, oh my goodness, like
Yeah.
we need to do some therapy here. Yeah, and so after doing all of that, it was like we're still working on our relationship, but it's getting better. And what
Yeah,
reminded me of that was just the colors, because
totally.
everything was gray, and I hate gray, mind you.
Oof.
And
Yeah.
so I've been working with her over the past couple of years, like what colors should we bring in together? Like let's recreate the space together. And so we have like a bright green in the kitchen,
Oh, I
obnoxious
love
bright
it.
green.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, "You're painting your kitchen that color?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's so happy."
Oh,
So
it's so
I just love
true.
that.
It makes me think about people buying houses, or maybe they don't get the house they wanted, and I think about like the spirit of the home that's infused into all these houses, and it's probably low key sifting through people wanting you to even buy the house. And they're like, how much does that play into it, right? It's interesting.
Yeah, diving into the real estate world has been a really interesting journey for me. There are some houses that just don't sell. And then they're
Yeah.
like, well, we need some help here, clearly. And I'm like, well, the spirit of the home is looking for this person and
Right?
literally
Yeah.
pushing everybody else away, or there's something else going on with it. And I just have found real estate is weird. There are so many houses out there. I don't know if you have worked with any, what I would call cookie cutter, kind of like fast development houses.
Oh, not
Yeah,
around here, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, they seem to be super strange houses to work with. Some of them don't even have spirits of the home. Some
Yeah.
of those spirits are like, I don't really know what my role is, or with some of those types of homes, they get sold really quickly. And so they're like, we have so many families, like we don't even know what to do. And it's just so sad.
It's such a strange, I find the energy of those new developments very strange. I don't know how else to describe it. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just if you think about how people used to live in homes and love them and stay, and now everybody
Mm,
moves all over the place all the time, it's like no wonder why these houses are just like opting out or withdrawn and have no idea what to do or how to do it.
yeah, I love old houses. Like you can you know what I'm talking about. There, every square inch is infused with love and character. Each home is unique to its neighbor, and it's so fun. Old houses are so fun.
I agree. Yeah, we could talk
Yeah.
about the spirits of homes all day.
Oh yeah.
I want to pan out back out into the ecosystem. So one of the areas that you have on your property butts up right next to an not an estuary, the mouth of a river where it comes down off of the
Yes.
mountain, hits another river, and the river continues on. And I remember that being kind of a tricky spot for a while.
Mhm.
And I remember the spirit of the mountain was not terribly happy and was intentionally like feeding negative energy down into the river, which just happened to shoot straight into your house. And I know we did
Yep.
some work there. I'm just curious if you could share what that was like then, and then the steps you've taken and what it feels like now.
Yeah, and I have a really fun story to tell involving a tree about this part of the property. But yeah, we when we moved in, we were so excited because we're like, we have riverfront. And you would walk down there, and of course it was beautiful. But yeah, there was just it was unsettled, if that's a good word. Just you just didn't want to hang out. It just didn't make sense. We got this riverfront here, let's put out some lawn chairs and hang out, but the energy just wasn't jiving with any of that. And like you said, as we learned, there was some things happened involving the ancestors of the land, which their energy is so strong here. The different Native American groups, it's an interesting spot because it's like a split between three different groups, and I won't say their names in case I don't say it correctly, but very nomadic people that came through here, fishing and hunting. And like you said, there was some sort of tragic events that happened here back in the day. So anyways, I want to tell the story about the cottonwood tree. I've been going down there with my daughter the last year, and a few times we've been down there, and I can feel the ancestors of the land. Like one day, I just could see them with my third eye, all up on the ridge, just staring at us, watching. I could feel them like really close, not being threatening, but it was a bit intimidating. They were just watching. I'm like, this is kind of okay. And so that happened a few times. And at the time, I was developing a relationship with this huge cottonwood tree down there, spending a lot of time connecting with it. And I believe, well, it's known that cottonwood trees in particular are very um, respected and revered with the Native American cultures. And so this past winter, it was the eve of winter solstice, and I was just falling asleep, and an ancestor of the land, a Native American man, said, please come with me. And he brought me down to the river to the tree. And he showed me exactly what I had to do, which was take a very specific amethyst crystal I had and place it next to the tree. And that's all I had to do. They were going to do the rest, but that would basically create a connection, like using the tree as a portal for calling in. What I was getting was it was like soul fragments. Like it wasn't like earthbound spirits, but there was a lot of trauma to the land. And so this is going to kind of cleanse and pull in these lost soul fragments and return them to source through this tree. Like it was so detailed, and I had this mission I was going to do on winter solstice. So that is exactly what I did. I grabbed my crystal, I went down to the tree, I lit a candle, I put out the tree, just put the crystal there. I'm like, okay, everybody. um, and so I just took a moment and I let the candle burn out as it needed to. But that happened, and ever since then, it has felt different down there. There was definitely a palpable shift in the energy. And so I really wanted to share that story. That was so interesting. I felt like they were watching me for a while, like, who is this chick? What is she doing? And I kind of maybe earned their trust in a way that they're like, okay, maybe she can help us with this. So,
Oh, how beautiful. I felt that so deeply.
hmm.
And your tree, oh, it, where do I even want to start with this? It's incredible. Yeah, soul fragmentation is a big one. I've seen it
Hmm.
over and over again with like people soul fragments, animal soul fragments, or just simply the fragments of the land. And to
Right.
hold space and bring those pieces back is so powerful. And I just love that you had the elders step forward and guide you. I mean, that
Hmm.
really is what this is all about, is just listening to the
Yeah.
land and following suit. And I think it's beautiful that they were watching you for a while.
Yeah.
They do that, don't they? They're
It's
like,
like
"Who are you? What are you
they're
doing?"
vetting you. They're
They
vetting you to
are.
see what she's she's hanging out with this tree.
They're like, "I think
And
she's trying over there. Maybe we should give her some more guidance."
yeah. Do this, do that. Oh, and I thought this was so cool. Again, I've read bits of Native American cultures and specifically the cottonwood tree and how they felt it was the cottonwood tree in particular that brought them up to the stars. And so if you take the cottonwood branches and you snap them in half, there's a star shape in the branches. And I learned this after the winter solstice shenanigans, and I was like, oh, this is like they did want to use the cottonwood tree. Yeah.
That's so cool. Oh, isn't that just like a really cool nod of confirmation?
Yes, because I felt like for so long I was doing all this work with the land, but like what is like is there something specific anybody wants me to do here? Like a specific thing. And that was my first one where somebody came to me with a very specific job and I was so excited. Like, okay, I'll go do this for you for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cool. And the energy just shifted.
I did notice a shift. Yeah. I mean, I think there is a lot that happened kind of everywhere. But and I don't know if the soul fragments that were being called to return to source were specific to like this little area I was in or just like a larger piece of the land. I'm not sure, but yeah, there's a lot of history here, a lot of unwritten history that you can just feel it, but you can't read about it anywhere.
Yep. Trusting the
Mhm.
process for sure.
Mhm.
How how is your relationship with your trees since then? So you have your lovely cottonwood portal. What about all of the other trees on your space?
Oh, I'll tell you about the cedar tree.
Oh, yes.
He is the watcher tree. So it's interesting because he was one of the first trees I approached, but he wasn't closed off. He was just aloof, like, yeah, maybe go try somebody else. And so that's what I did. Um, but eventually I circled back around to him. Funny enough, shortly after the winter solstice with the cottonwood tree. And when I reconnected with him and he was open and we finally got to a place where I felt like there's like a lot of exchanging of information happening. That's when I learned about his role as the watcher and I felt like he saw what happened with the cottonwood tree. He was just up the hill from the cottonwood tree and I think it was that kind of like he was watching too. And he was like, "Okay. All right, I think I trust you." Um yeah, he's a an interesting tree. Um, there was one day in the winter I was standing out there and I had to go, but I had connected with him and it's too bad I had to leave, but he suggested I take some of his foliage that had fallen. So I did. I brought it home and I was meditating later and I like broke apart that fresh cedar and my ears started ringing like crazy. He was like, whoa. And like immediately reconnected with him through like that smell was so strong. I loved that. Connecting through the smell was really powerful. Yeah.
And they smell so good too.
Oh yeah.
From a nature communication standpoint, can you describe to our listeners how information and messages come to you?
Hmm. For me, I just want to bring up the fact that because this is my experience and probably everybody else's, it's so subtle. Like I'm still surprised at how subtle it is, but because I've been practicing, I'm confident in it. But it's very soft spoken. For me, anyways, it comes through with I'm predominantly clairvoyant. I'll see symbols. I will get riddles, like word riddles. I that's with trees specifically, that's how it comes through for me. But the riddles get me every time. I don't know why it's a riddle. Like the and it's fascinating because it's cryptic, but I know what it means, and it's just so fascinating how the puzzle pieces kind of open up. I find that so
Hmm.
fascinating.
I love the cryptic messages.
Hmm.
I get
Yeah.
those too. I'm like, y'all gotta speak to me in human language, please, because I don't understand what you're saying.
It's like they know how to say it, but they're choosing to say it in a cryptic way.
Yeah, through metaphor and symbology, and you're like, okay, guys, hold
Yeah.
on. Yeah, I find that too with pretty much everybody I speak with now.
Yeah.
All nature beings are like, here's your riddle. And here's only maybe 1/8 of the full picture, but you don't need the full picture
Yes.
quite yet. It's like,
That's
great,
the other
cool.
thing. They force you to. I'm the kind of person where it's like, just give me the book. I want to read every chapter right now. Just, nope, you can one page at a time.
Sometimes just one sentence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So how has opening up your abilities into the space helped you trust the process? And just what are your big takeaways, I suppose?
Hmm. Trusting the process. For me, I think it was just a lot of practice. And getting the feedback, like the programs you offer, those are so valuable to get the feedback. I felt for me, it's like same with property readings. I need the feedback to connect to those little soft messages where you want to trust it, but for me to gather momentum and get going and really start trusting, I personally needed the feedback. Yeah.
Yep, I needed that too. Were
Hmm.
you ever one of those people who's like, I'm pretty sure I've gone crazy. I'm making this up. Nothing makes sense, but I also really believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like that never
100.
actually goes away.
Yeah. It's
Sometimes
a
I'm like, really?
it's an unfortunate truth that yeah, it never goes away. You just kind of accept that you just kind of accept it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I get that. So
Hmm.
how, okay, at what point did you decide that you wanted to offer sessions professionally?
Mm, um, well, I joined the Earth Tenders Academy and I loved doing the property readings. And at the same time, I was doing this work with my house, and I knew that I was getting somewhere with my intuitive abilities, and I just really felt the pull. I was really passionate about what I had gone through. I just wanted to help other people. Like I wanted to help the version of me that you helped, right? So yeah, I was just really gung ho on doing property readings for people. And I still love doing them. I love connecting the dots for people. Like it's very satisfying.
Oh, you have to share one of your favorite sessions to date.
Hmm. Well, to be honest, it was probably one of my first ones. Like when I got started, I was doing it for friends and family. So it was interesting because those readings, it wasn't particularly because something was wrong with the house. It was like, yeah, come and come and check it out. So there wasn't any crazy healings to do, but I remember one property in particular, the energy was actually so nice that there was tons of fairies in this property, and the energy was so nice that it's like I almost didn't want to end the reading and come back to my house. So that was interesting. That really stands out to me. It wasn't what I was expecting to go into something so nice, but that feeling into those different energies, when you're doing home and land healing, it's usually you're stepping into the yuckier energies, versus the nicer ones. But so that one stands out to me.
The fairy
Mhm.
energy is some of my favorite.
Yeah, it's very it's hard to describe, but it did feel like plunking back into reality at my house was like,
Oh man.
yeah.
You're telling me you don't have any fairies there yet?
Well, I don't know if you remember, but I have a little raspberry patch where you tuned into the fairies, and the apple tree. So last summer was the first time that crabapple tree blossomed. So that was a huge, like, oh, okay.
Oh, I
That's a
love
good
that.
sign. Yeah, ever since we moved in, it hadn't flowered, but and so that's the little fairies area over there, the apple tree and the raspberries.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
Fairies are one of those beings that people inquire the most about. I don't know, I feel like they're just like the easiest ones to be like, fairies, of course, right?
Yeah.
So, what have you learned, or I suppose, yeah, describing their energy is really hard, but what would you recommend people feel for, sense for, look for, to help them connect in with areas that fairies might be in, or to help them bridge that gap and connect in?
Hmm. I'll say I particularly, other than that reading I brought up and the raspberry patches here, I feel like I haven't had as many connections with fairies as I would like. But I do have a daughter, and kids are an amazing gateway to the fairies. I find it interesting. There's another area I suspect, along our walk in the property, that my daughter she likes to go in and she calls it a house, and there's a stump in there, and I do get fairy energy, but I've yet to connect on a deeper level and kind of attune into what's going on there. But she enters her own little world, and I feel like for me, my daughter's been a gateway to some of these areas because I find their energy, being a mom and always being go, 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 and not being able to like drop into that relaxed play state. Um, because I do believe that's the gateway to helping feel for fairy energy, is stepping into that childlike energy.
Yeah, the
I don't know if
playfulness.
that helps. The
Yeah,
playfulness, yeah.
yeah, the playfulness, the inner child, just, ugh, kiddos. I love it. I was just
Yeah.
going to ask you if she can see them. Maybe it sounds like she's intuitively picking up on them. Do you
Hmm.
talk to her about what you do, different beings that she might experience?
Yeah, we've just started that. Like she's just really starting talking. But for a while now, she's had two little friends. They're tiny, they're about this big. Um, and so I like asking her about them, and they have very specific colors. I am suspecting that one of them is from the fairy realm. And it's so cute. She like actually picks them up and like
Oh my
puts
God,
them on
that's
her.
just precious. I love
And
that.
oh yeah, it's fascinating because there's her imagination is always going, but It's always the same. Their colors are always the same. Um, their names are Sarah and Who Hat.
Who hat? I like that.
Who Hat. Yeah, and every time we go for a walk, it's like she's putting them up here.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, that is the cutest thing.
yeah, and she loves the trees. Actually, we were on a walk yesterday when the sun was out, and she just walked over to this younger poplar tree, and she was just like, I like this tree. I'm like, yeah, tell me about this tree. And she was hugging it, and she said the tree is itchy, and she picked up a stick and she was itching it, which I thought was pretty interesting. Yeah.
How old is she now?
She is almost 3.5. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's when
It's
my little one was super imaginative, and I don't want to give all
mm-hmm.
away his secrets, but he had a few friends also, and it was
Yeah.
always the same color, same name, and
Yeah.
he would do something similar like I used to do when I was little. I always had wildlife guides around me. I didn't know it, of course, but I would embody them. And so I'd like walk around my house like a cougar and like I could feel my tail and my ears change shapes. And like I was that kid.
Oh yeah.
He started doing that too when he was about 3.5. And I was like, I know what you're doing. Like this is
Yeah.
real.
That's so cool. It's so fun to be in this day and age that we're in where I am like fully supporting all of this. Like, I think I do think there was a time where kids weren't really encouraged to talk about their imaginary friends or no, that's we don't talk about that. It's like, no, yeah, let's talk about what I'm always asking her, what are they doing? And are
Yeah,
they
what are the
coming with
names? What are they
us?
doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like our generation is kind of like at that transition phase where some of us were sort of shut down as kids and then some of us weren't. And so there's
Hmm.
like this really cool mixture of people, at least that I've met along the way, where they're like, you're the same age as me. How are you so open and this and that? And I was like, because I literally was given permission to go play, and quite a
Yeah.
few people weren't. And it's like, we gotta, my personal opinion is like, we need to help encourage the kids
Yes.
now to be open and stay open and talk about these things. And it's a weird time though still.
So weird. Yeah.
Yeah, my kiddo's 10 now and he's like becoming his own thing.
Oh.
And so mom's imaginary land isn't cool anymore, but
Yeah.
yeah, so he doesn't talk about what I do to his friends. Like, mom just
Yeah.
likes trees. And I'm
Right?
like, yeah.
I think about that too. I'm like, okay, so she's gonna get friends and they're gonna start talking. She's gonna start talking about me and like what is everybody. It's such a strange time for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting though to watch kids that are encouraged in these aspects and what they will grow into when they're older.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely the future of true connection, I think. I think there's so much potential there. And if we can just
Yeah.
like break the ice for them or blow up the cliffs and and
Yes.
blocks there, that's my goal.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
let them
with
waltz
you.
right
Yeah.
on through.
Yeah. I'm with you there.
Um, what do you think? We were talking about this a little bit before formally recording, but how hard it is to articulate this kind of work that we're bringing up into the world. And so, with that prefacing, what do you think people misunderstand most about land and home readings and healings?
Hmm. Well, I'll bring up the example of when I hired you and I was looking for help. And I was very spiritually inclined. I felt like I was very open, but even I was hung up on how does somebody heal the land remotely? That was a big thing for me. Even like at the time, I was like, I believed in it, but I couldn't figure it out. I mean, now I understand, and now I still struggle to explain it. And oh, I don't even know what to say. It's, it is challenging. And I feel like there's a lot of work to bring awareness, just to the idea that our homes are energetic beings. Like there's consciousness there. It's so hard to explain. I'm struggling to explain it right now. Yeah.
It is hard. It's taken me a long time to try to figure out how to talk about it. And to be honest with you, I want to give you mad props. Like I creep on you on social media now because I'm look at she's talking about this. That's amazing. And you're just like
Thanks.
you're really bringing amazing messages and information into the world that I haven't. I've never talked
Oh,
about
thank
half of
you.
the things you have, and so just you're doing a great job
Thank
at
you.
bringing it forward. Yeah, it is hard. And something with land healing too is like the multi-dimensional aspect to it. It's like what I find really hard to talk about is yes, we live in the physical world and there's trees and water, but it's like we're working in the unseen realms
Yeah.
where even communicating there can be really subtle. And so all of these shifts that you're feeling might be really subtle.
Hmm.
And to just share about peeping toms and some of the stickier things that we do work with.
Yeah.
Um, Most people don't encounter that. And something that I've seen is like there's a lot of there's all kinds of practitioners out there right now that really just cover the gamut. But
Hmm.
there are a lot of them out there that just don't believe in anything sticky or
Yeah.
and they don't see it. And so when somebody needs help or they're encountering something and they run into a practitioner and they're like, well, that doesn't exist. I'm like, well, it does.
Yeah. It's so hard because with this stuff, it's like you don't know what you don't know, if that makes sense.
Yep.
It's there's so much out there. Like we are in the age of information, and there's just so if somebody is trying to figure it out, but they don't know what they don't know, and there's just so many resources with kind of different viewpoints, and it's really a lot to sift through. But it makes me think about how I recently talked about just haunted houses. And I say, to me, it's almost like a derogatory term now, but I like it because everybody knows what you're talking about when you say it. Okay, so if you can kind of picture this and then kind of work backwards to um like I wouldn't have considered my house haunted despite there being earthbound spirits. Like it wasn't there wasn't things flying off the walls. There wasn't really light bulbs flickering. So it was subtle, but if you can conceptualize like there's spirits can influence your home, not all spirits are the same, but they can still influence your home. And it's kind of how I've worked to maybe try and explain how your home can be influenced.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a weird spot to be in.
Hmm.
I do just want to say to anybody listening, Heather's blog is amazing. Go read it. She's just like rocking it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I've been sharing it with my students and they're like, this is so great. And
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, it's wonderful. Okay, we haven't dipped our toes into this aspect yet of your reading. However, I do recall that you had dragons, lots of dragons. And I
Yes.
think one of the main goals that you had in our initial intake was to, and correct me if I am wrong, but you have a meadow or something like that by your
Hmm.
house that you thought possibly had dragon energy. And I remember just tuning into your space. I was like, holy moly, there's literally like a dragon for each mountain. And there's a dragon that like kind of like the trees, like watches. And I'm just curious how that's unfolded over the years.
Yeah. So I would say the dragons came to me first, in the form of like, oh, that's an interesting dream. When I had moved in, I just dreamt that there was this big, massive orange dragon just sleeping in the field next to my house. um, there wasn't much to the dream other than that's interesting. I just knew that there was something significant about that. And So much so that I mentioned it to you when we had our pre-chat before the reading. And yeah, I've been connecting with this orange dragon who I work with occasionally. Um, I like getting his help for like clearing my energy. Um, and I wouldn't say I connect with him all the time, but occasionally. And there is a lot of dragon energy here. There's so much energy in this valley that I live in that I can't even really put my finger on yet. Like I'm still piecing it together, but there's a lot going on out here. Yeah.
Yeah, the dragon energy is pretty intense. You do have a lot of energy for sure swirling around you. And I would also like to second having the the flames of dragons just clean my aura. That's like my
Yes.
favorite. I'm like, somebody just
That's
burned me real fast. Oh, thank you.
I was going to say that. I'm like, that might sound weird, like burn me, but it's like a transmutational full cleansing, just it's like the quickest way for me to clear it out.
I love that. And that is
Yeah.
not too weird in this world, at least in
Yeah.
my world. That's an everyday occurrence.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
The weirder you get, the better. That's so cool. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's talk about the name of your business, Earthly
Mm.
Owl. How did that come to be the name of your business? Tell us the story behind that.
So owls, I love owls, of course, but they were a huge guide. I still have Owl Guide is with me all the time, but when I was trying to piece together the fact that Owl was a guide and what it was trying to show me was kind of holding my hand through the healing of the house and figuring out what I was doing. Once I connected the dots and figured it out, everything made sense. And it was interesting because the owl signs in the physical kind of like I don't see owls around here anymore. I saw them every day, almost every day when I lived here the first year before all this happened. So, and now the crows have moved in. But anyway, I just knew that I needed to incorporate owl into a name when I was trying to find a name for all of this. And I chose Earthly Owl because, well, I like how it sounds, but I felt like it was kind of taking that higher consciousness, higher guidance, and bringing it into the earth, like into the Middle Earth, into the physical here. Um, and the last time I did see an owl was interesting after I had come up with this name, Earthly Owl. I was sitting at my kitchen table and I looked out the window and saw an owl land on the fence post. Like I could see him really well. And I watched him and he just hopped off and went into the garden. I'm like, he's not coming out of the garden. Like, is he going for a nap? And so I got on my phone and it was a short-eared owl that was been primarily the owl that I've been seeing. So I'm learning about short-eared owls and they nest and sleep on the ground. Like that's so strange because it was like earthly owl. Like even I didn't know that beforehand, but it kind of pieced it together. I thought that was interesting.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much.
Yeah.
That reminds me of Amy. So you mentioned Earth Tenders Academy.
Yeah.
Academy. I don't know. Earth Tenders Academy with Amy. Her business is following hawks, and she had a
Yeah.
similar situation where the hawks kept coming to her, and that was kind of her push forward as well. And I just think that's so
Yeah.
cool. But I have the same story. The trees were mine, and that's why I have deep root connections. I named it
Absolutely.
before I even knew I could talk to trees. I just knew I needed something earthly and tree based, and I was like, I don't know, it makes no sense as an animal communicator, but I have to go with it. And now it's like, oh, now it makes sense.
Oh, yeah. It's so interesting. I felt like the same way. It jived, but it didn't really make total sense, but it sounded good, and so I kind of went with it, and then it really started making sense once I committed to it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, I love it.
Thank
I
you.
think it's really
Thank you.
lovely. Okay, tell me how you hold your sessions. If anybody out there is interested in working with you, what might a session look like?
Session looks like it's all done remotely. So if a client books a session with me, we get together on the phone or on Zoom and just check in on what's going on and what are they looking for in terms of what's going on with their house. So we start with that, and then I do everything remotely, all the healing work, and I type up a big report and I send that, and we connect in after and kind of see how it went. I love connecting in at the end to kind of see how it's going. It's my favorite part, but that's how my process works.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Hmm.
Very, very thorough, I'm sure. Do you have do you have like a time frame? How long does it take you to usually get through them?
I give 1 to 2 weeks. It's usually
Yeah.
a week, but I find when I do the readings, this is the thing with energy work is if a day is not good and I'm not driving because it requires all my energy, I move it to the next day because I always want to make sure that I am like in go mode. And it gives me flexibility to ensure that I can do that. And so that's why I give a large time frame for the process.
Absolutely. And I just want
Yeah.
to give you props for that too. I
Mhm.
did the same thing for so long. I was like, I'm gonna do your property on this day. I'm like, just kidding. Never mind.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
gonna happen today.
it's so strange. Like you can't really plan. I just know when it's not a good time.
Yeah.
And it's with energy work, it's yeah, you really need to be in a really good state of mind and grounded and mhm,
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that forward. That's something
mhm.
that I didn't honor. And when I first started out, I was just kind of pushing through all kinds of sessions as I agreed to do them, and it actually ended up making me really sick. And
Oh
so
yeah.
good for you for holding
That's
that
fair.
that space and those boundaries right up front. So everybody
Yeah.
out there, boundaries.
Yes. Boundaries,
For
boundaries.
sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our listeners?
Mm. What do I want to share? I don't know. I just feel like I want to speak to this whole community that I see online, the Zoom, the offerings that all these people are putting out is just so mind blowing to me, who's been walking this path the last 3 years. And I just want to say how blessed it is that we're living in a time that people who are leaning into this type of nature communication are coming together. And it's like, it's growing and you can see it when you go online. And I just want to say that you're spearheading a phenomenal movement with all of this and your offerings. And I just want to speak on that and just a shout out to everybody who's doing this work and learning nature communication. And it's just so awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I have seen an influx of
Mhm.
practitioners stepping forward, and I'm like, yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. I was like, I want to meet all of you.
Yeah. You could just feel the momentum
Yeah, I
moving
feel
up.
like it is going to be the medicine of the new earth. Like it has to
Yes,
be.
totally.
And there's
Totally.
so much coming that we don't even know yet. And so to have
Yeah.
people like you out there that are just saying yes and willing
Yeah.
to roll with it one sentence at a
Mhm.
time in our big chapter book, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
I think everybody that's saying yes to this, even if they're just at the very beginning of their journey, we're
Hmm.
just bringing in a new wave of conscious connection, and it's like I'm so
It's
excited. I'm
it
so
feels
excited.
so good to see it all happening. It's very
It
exciting.
does. Thank you so much for joining me today, Heather. It was such a pleasure to connect in with you about your land, your offerings, and the beautiful work that you are bringing into the space. For anybody out there that might be interested in connecting in with Heather through her blog, through her social media spaces, or her website. You can find her pretty much all around the place: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Earthly Owl, as well as her website, which will all be linked down below for you. Thank you all so much for listening. I will see you next time.